We got a couple of hickory logs right here in a row. I know everybody in the milling business loves sawing hickory, so I thought I'd just saw a few of them and show you guys. This is 747 turbo blade. Most time, these Super 70s eat through this hickory. I mean, they don't have any issues with it, unless, the one thing I've noticed, I don't know if you guys have the same problem or not, but when you're sawing and you come to hickory, what I've noticed is if it's a really, really white log, it tends to be way harder than the ones like this one. If you look at the core, how brown it is around through there, and the outer ring of it is like a whitish brown, you know, it's not super white. And so usually those saw a lot easier than the ones that are, you know, we'll see if we got one in this little mix. But I mean, we're sailing through this stuff. I can actually go a little faster now. Show you guys some quick cuts. I'm not even getting motor bog at that fast right there. I'm gonna slice and dice these pretty fast so they can see how fast these can go through it.
Oh, you're gonna do it?
Yeah. But you can see how brown that interior of that log is. And also, this is like the X pattern hickory on your bark, which it just depends. Sometimes it sucks off there and you've got to watch it. It'll suck into the blade and knock your blade off if you get a big chunk, because sometimes the whole outer shell, we'll see if we got one coming here, but the whole outer shell of hickory will just peel off. Yeah, there's one about 4 or 5 back. But nobody in the industry enjoys sawing hickory. And sometimes you just get a log on there that just does not want you to saw it. I mean, it's, I don't know, I've never enjoyed sawing hickory. And the best thing to do is make cross ties out of every bit of it and just get it off your meal as soon as possible. We're not going to do that with any of these. I just want to show you sawing them all the way down and pushing through. We're going about, I keep my meal, if you guys ever ran a Super 70, you can adjust the speed in the joystick handle and how fast it will go up and down the track. So you can make it track extremely slow, or you can make it go back and forth extremely fast. And I keep my speed in the top right corner all the way up, besides one little notch, and there's like 30 notches on there. So we're running this pretty quick through here. As you can see that bark hanging off the side? You gotta watch. If it's peeled back like that, sometimes you'll hit these logs, start to go through them and hit something like that on the opposing side, and it'll literally suck it inside the saw blade, and it will knock your whole blade off. And then you know, it ruins all the teeth, and it's just a mess. This should give you guys an idea, especially if you're looking into these and you're thinking, you know, hey, I'm gonna do cross ties and other things, because a lot of cross ties come from hickory and hardwoods, other than white oak right now, because white oak is so, you know, it's really holding its own in the market. That and walnuts, about the only two things that's really pushing the market. in pricing and stuff, but a lot of hickory goes into cross ties. But if you was looking into just, you know, you want to saw this down or make cross ties, you can see how fast these Super 70s rip this hickory. It probably helps a little bit. It's been wet and rainy here over the past month. That definitely makes the logs saw easier. I tell you what's crazy. Sometimes though, when I'm sawing, I notice that if I've got my water turned up very high in hickory, that it'll make the blade want to divot sometimes. So I don't keep my water on super high all the time. You can hear it get the motor bog a little bit, listen. Ah, it jumped out of the clamp. Did you see that? It busted there's so much pressure in the log, it busted out of the clamp. Those hickory are bad for that. Especially if you're pushing these mills fast, it does not like it. Not the mill, just the log. The tension in those hickories sometimes is absurd. We're going to flip it over here and it'll mess the top board up, but that's okay. Just sometimes you have that. What's happening is when you're cutting through the board, the log's flexing down and it pushes itself out of the clamp because it's got so much pressure in there. And I mean, for it to do that, you have to have a lot of pressure because these clamps are pressed on them hard. That's where a 4500 would be nice. And a lot of this, guys, when you're cutting hickory, you have to have your mill on point. If you don't have your mill and your drive belt and good blades and everything on point, you will find out real fast when you start sawing hickory. Hickory is the hardest wood to saw, period. There's nothing we have in North America that people consecutively saw that is more of a pain in the butt than hickory. Hear it bogging that motor down? This one's a hard one. But you see how that bark is going to be on my opposing side now. So it's sticking out over the side, and you got to watch that stuff. Seems harder in the last 2 foot of the log than anywhere. I squared that up to 10 inches wide so you guys can really see. The wider the log, the harder it is to go through. get that motor back up to RPM. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. This one's pretty hard, and like I said, I left it wide. See that one on the log deck right there? See how the whole shell has rolled off of it? Those are annoying because if you can't get it off, well, this thing's right in the center, but man, it's hard. Making that motor really work. Let's flip it over. I hope you guys can hear how far down I'm bogging that motor. But what you'll notice is I'm bogging that thing down, but I'm not getting any blade dip or anything like that. Those boards are straight and true, and that's because this mill is very finessed and very well taken care of on its cut. And you have to have that all the time if you're wanting to produce big quantities of lumber. You need a good drive belt, a bunch of other stuff. But also, if you're not hearing that motor bog, you got something, you're getting belt slip or something. Anyway, hope you guys have a blessed day. Just want to let you see it cut some hickory straight.